Welcome to the Simply Bowie Magazine Show. My name is Veronica Fountain. I am the publisher of Simply Bowie Magazines that covers the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Today I'm with a special guest today.
Yes.
As you know, every month I'm here in the studio highlighting business owners from all over the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, primarily the Bowie market. And we're always highlighting and focusing on our top and most notable realtors in the area. And today I am with a special guest, Arelia Douglas, Ms. Aurelia Douglas from Porterhouse International Realty. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Thank
How
you.
long have you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor for 18 years.
18 years, okay. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
So you've seen a lot. You
I
know,
have
probably the
seen-
market
I have
crash,
seen the
and up and
history.
down.
Yes.
COVID was good and awesome. Are you primarily residential, commercial, or both?
I am primarily residential.
Okay.
I have done a couple of commercial properties, but they've been rental commercial properties.
Okay.
So I do have a little history of commercial
Commercials,
properties
yes.
as well.
You think it's going to be on a comeback, the commercial?
Uh,
A little bit.
Well, really, because now I do have a family member that deals with that.
Okay.
And she's actually that's something that's history for her.
Okay.
Because of the slow market of
Right.
commercial properties.
Okay.
So,
Okay. What areas do you cover the most?
I actually cover the Bowie area,
Uh-huh.
the Largo area, Mitchellville area,
Okay.
so all of those areas here in the local areas, and also in Fort Washington.
Oh, Fort Washington
So
as
yeah,
well.
so Fort Washington as well.
Okay, what do you think of that new building, new drive right now on the 301 across from Walmart? All of the new building, the new constructions that's going in, especially Six Flags is closing down.
I
New construction is
know.
going there. What do you
Yeah.
think of the market right now?
I think the market is thriving, regardless
Okay.
of what we're facing, because of course we've just gotten past the pandemic,
Yes, yes.
and
Uh-huh.
what actually occurred there. It took
Yes.
about maybe 2 or 3 years before we started recovering from that, but I think it's thriving.
Yes.
You know, it's thriving in a way that people
Okay.
are now getting back into the market.
Mhm.
We have a couple of properties that are listed now.
Okay.
And it's taken an average of 1 to 2 weeks to actually purchase, to sell a home.
that's not
so
bad.
that's not bad at all,
1 to 2
because
weeks,
it
yeah.
really had slowed up a
Okay.
lot. But we're seeing things moving along now.
Okay. So what they're
yeah.
saying is the federal government workers are either resign, they're selling their houses, and there's more houses on the market than buyers. What is making the millennials not pounce on buying a home yet? Why are they still on the fence?
I think what it is, as you just mentioned about the fact that I think people are watching what's happening more so than being focused on their goals, their personal goals of home ownership, because as I said, I had my license for 18 years. One thing I realized, I got my license in 2007 when the market crashed.
Okay.
Okay,
So
and
you
I
came
saw a
in
lot
on
of
tough
movement.
times. Yes.
I was encouraged to keep my license. But what I would tell anyone, I don't care what the market is or what's happening. When you have a goal to want to own a home, you have to stay focused on your goal.
Yes.
And not the situation. I have seen it come to pass, though all those things happen, and people still strive to get their home, strive to get home ownership. So the same thing with the pandemic. I mean, it was a seller's market because a lot of people didn't want to put their property out on the market.
On the market, yes.
And they didn't want people in their homes. But as you see, there's a turn, is a very slow turn, because now we're dealing with the government.
Okay.
And
Yes.
people being really skeptical as to whether they would even have their job.
Right.
And it's very,
Yes, yeah.
it's very important to make sure you have the income, especially if you're getting into and you're first-time home buyers. Like you said, the young generation, they're very concerned about what's happening in the market. But I would
Yes.
tell anyone, because of my years of experience, whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, if you prepare for the market, most of the time it's during the worst time that you want to prepare. I can give you an example of the National Harbor, because I live right down the street from there.
Okay.
And when they first built those townhomes were going for $400,000 or $500,000 right after the market crash. Now, if someone was really striving to get a home, it would have been a perfect opportunity to save, because they could have taken advantage of something, a one-time situation. But because of the scare of the market crash, of course, people weren't prepared. A lot of people lost their 401k, and a lot of situations happened. But for those who strived and saved, and it's about accountability and responsibility. It's about preparation when it comes to home ownership and owning land, because years later, now you look at those same properties and they're worth 1.2. You're talking about, you know, 3 times as much as what you could have owned if you had stayed focused and prepared on your with your goal, because things do change. Life happens. We know that even in family issues, things that we go through in life. But one thing you want to do is keep your eyes on the prize and stay focused. It takes preparation. It takes saving. It takes working on your credit so that you can make sure you put yourself in a position. And I believe that's one of my dreams and my goals, especially for the young, to create something. I really want to create an organization where you can actually get to that level of preparation of financing, because you don't learn that. You don't learn that in school. And so it's important to catch them while they're young, so they can understand not to build all this credit and put themselves in a position where they cannot buy.
We did, it was, you buy a house, you get married, you have 2 kids, and you buy another house, and you buy a second house, and then you vacation. But the millennials are a little different.
They're a little different. And I can see why they could be discouraged, because there are things to encourage them, to put them in a position at a disadvantage. But if you're focused and if you understand, and I understand that most people are not educated and focused to understand, but if you focus and understand, you can reach that goal. It's not impossible.
And I think with the new program that you want to create, will help them.
I really have a vision, not only to create that, but really help the young so they can understand a lot of things about themselves, about family issues, about really recreational things, all of that together to help them build the understanding of self, and how important self and family.
Not only financial literacy, but self as well, because you don't learn that financial literacy, that part of it. You know, you're taking algebra class in high school, calculus, but just the basics of your credit score. You know, how to save, you know, getting your emergency funds, you know, instead of now, okay, my money is all to the Beyonce concert.
There you go.
It's like, we know, let's shift some of it over here.
And you just mentioned an important thing that I thought about recently too, because another thing is, I think when we have automated things set up, we don't tend to take advantage to look back and say for instance, you have a car insurance and you automatically paying that. It could be 10 years later. You never think to go back and say, hey, where can in my budget can I tap in to save money? Because now you're on an automated system and you don't even think about the fact that you could be saving something if you check and see if the rate somewhere else.
That is so
you know, could give you a better rate to save, you know, money. So it's so many things that people don't know that we, you know, that's our job as far as a real estate agent, to really take you. We have a fiduciary duty, you know, to educate, and, you know, responsibility. I know I do.
It's not just focus on, just close the house. But this is exactly what type of house you can afford or get into, and let's educate. How important is it for you as a realtor to hone in on knowledge to a millennial couple? How important is it to stay on top of renewing your license or staying on top of your knowledge of the housing market?
Well, it's very important. I think especially, and I'm glad that the way it's taught in real estate, that every 2 years you have to renew your license, and you have to stay up. It's every 2 years, and you have to stay up with the standards because they're constantly changing.
Yes. Okay.
And it's a good thing because the knowledge and the skills and abilities help us to help someone else that may not know. But if we're not keeping up with the laws, you know, of the land, there are things that we could be uneducated about. I want to mention one thing is, you know, because in the history of real estate, there was no buyer's agent. You only had the seller's agent, and it was their lack of knowledge not to understand, because you met that seller at the house, you didn't, you know, seller's agent at the house, and you, the listing agent at the house, and you didn't have anybody to represent you. And so it was like an unknown thing that you didn't know that they actually did not represent you. And they had things like lenders and people that you didn't, you know, that they geared towards helping the seller. But now they have it balanced where you have a buyer's agent, and some people don't realize the understanding and importance of also having someone to represent you. That's when you said about laws and responsibility and regulations. It's important for you to know that, and it's our fiduciary responsibility to teach that to someone.
Absolutely. And so it makes the buyer comfortable. It makes where I can trust you. You know, because you're knowledgeable and you're telling me the truth, and you're really trying to help me here. So it makes a huge difference, you know. So
and it's our responsibility.
Yeah, it's your responsibility. Right, exactly. Not just I'm just trying to close a house and get to the next one. Yes. So walk me through your day-to-day process. Day-to-day, the main thing, the most important thing is marketing. Marketing.
On a day-to-day basis, most of the time we're networking. There's things we just had Saturday. Now, I wasn't here, but we normally participate together. But we have what we call a home buyers expo.
Expo.
Now, this home buyers expo teaches you from start to finish the process of the home buying experience. So you have, of course, you have the real estate agents there. You have the inspector. Well, you have the lender. You have the inspector, the title company, and we're teaching you from start to finish what that process looks like. It's a 2-hour session that we do, but the thing is, it's more into the marketing, because it gives us an opportunity prior to that to go out into, you know, the world. Most of the time we go, you know, in our neighbor, in our, you know, in our sphere of influences, in the neighborhoods and everything, and we're passing out flyers. I mean, now we're advertising this, but it's also, and it's been working very well. We come there, I mean, we have a spread of food, everything, we have everything set up.
People love the refreshments.
Yes, everything set up to invite that person in. But our main goal is to teach and to educate people, not just buyers. We also have people who come in after they've bought a home from us to actually come in and give a testimony of their fears, the reality of how they felt prior to.
Having great testimonials is essential.
Yes, essential.
And is referrals. At that point, it's going to become a referral base. They're going to definitely refer you to someone else, and that's how you continually build your pipeline. And you have an article that's coming out next month.
Yeah, see, so that's why I got
Simply Bowie Magazine publication. So we're definitely excited about that, for that type of spread.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. But I am just really elated to be here, because I know that I mean, on the spiritual side of myself, that this was a great opportunity also, as far as marketing and really getting out there and seeing some other sides of how things are done. Because normally, now I've had magazines and things that I put out, but it's not getting face to face. Like you all have been more personable, and that's a face to face type of thing. And I was like, I want that experience. Also, I went to what we call our National Associations of Realtors. It was a legislative conference. They come here every year.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, and we go on the Hill.
Okay.
And we talked to representatives. I
Okay.
met someone there that actually wants me. She said, you would be an excellent person to go in the field because staffers can't get it across, but you can actually get across the message of what we're trying to, get across. Meeting with HUD and representatives. It was over 8,000 realtors there, but then you also have representatives that are connected to the housing process. So it was really a good networking tool.
And that's an annual event.
It's an annual event. They also have other events that's huge, bigger than that. They're going to have something in Texas,
Vegas,
no, it's Texas, and they said that is almost 3 times as big as what we saw at the convention center. But they have expos there. So they have tools and things where amazing. Just like you with the magazine, you have companies that help real estate agents with their business.
So you're not alone. So, you're not just out, plucking around by yourself. So you actually have a lot of help. That's amazing. And you 18 years in the business, and you sound like you have about good 18 more years left to go.
Definitely. I'm in this for the long haul. I believe I've been called to this. I'm serious.
That is amazing. I feel your whole spirit being as well, that you definitely want to help the youth, the kids, millennial couples, and it's your calling. I sense that with you. It's like it's your calling.
And it's just the beginning. You learn even through your calling that not all the time it's the way you think it's going to be. In 18 years, I've always been told, hold on, don't spin your wheels, and hold on to your license. I've kept it active for 18 years, and I've experienced seeing the process of economical shift versus your seasonal shifts that you go through normally. And we've had a lot of them. And it's taken on an average 10-year span before you see something else that may occur, because it took from 2007 to 2017 for the actual, the market, the crash of the market, and still mortgage companies didn't know what to do with that, and so we see that shift. And then the pandemic came, so it was a beautiful experience to see and to see. That's why I said I am fully convinced that no matter what happens, your focus should be on owning land and property. It gives so much financial options to people when it comes to owning land and property that you can't get anywhere else. I know the stock market can give it to you if you want to, and you have other things. Now we're getting into Bitcoins, but there will be nothing that takes advantage or take over you owning something. And not only that, the value of raising your family. I know we're in a fast-paced, moving, people are shifting and moving all the time.
Artificial intelligence.
And so it doesn't give you the opportunity to really, really focus on and narrow in on your community and the how you can build value and family values so that kids can actually enhance in knowing how to build relationships even outside of their family. But without the shifting and the moving, you can't do that. And then, like you said about the preaching part, we come from land. We're going back to the dust of the earth of land. And one key thing is you can make money every day, but land is all we have, is all we're going to get. There's no recreation of land. What's here is all you're getting.
That's it.
And so why not own a piece of it? Why not own a piece of the land?
I love it.
So
You've been phenomenal today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming onto the show. You really educated the show. You're very passionate about what you do, and you love what you do. And I think people should call you and definitely connect with you.
Yes, definitely.
Tell everyone how to reach you. Your website, your email address, phone number, etc.
Well, I can be reached on social media websites. Of course, I have an Instagram account. I also have Facebook. You can reach me by phone. by my office phone. I don't know if you wanted me to actually go into how to reach those things. Even my personal phone number is 202-255-1818. I made it very easy for everyone.
Yes. And you did say your website?
And my website is Arelia.Porterhouse Realty Group.
Okay.
I mean, Realty Pros, I'm sorry, .com.
Yes.
So that's Arelia.Realty, PorterhouseRealtyPros.com.
Perfect.
Okay, and my email address is a little different. It just has the @ It's Arelia@PorterhouseRealtyPros.com.
Arelia, you've been phenomenal today. Thank you so much for coming on to the show with Simply Bowie publication. Look out for her article next month. It will be in the September, July/August issue. This will be the summer issue. So make sure you get a copy. You can also see the digital publication online on the Simply Magazines with an S on the end.net on the website. Definitely support her. Definitely reach out to her. She's amazing. Let her get you into a house.
Yes, that is my goal.
Thank you for your time. Yes, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate it. Thank you.